Electricast.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
If we knew more about our sleep, what would we do differently? Would we go to bed at a consistent time or take steps to reduce interruptions to our sleep? With Sleep Score, Apple Watch measures your bedtime consistency, interruptions, and sleep duration. Then, every morning it combines these factors into an easy-to-understand score from 1 to 100. So you'll know how to take the quality of your sleep from okay to very high. Know your sleep score with Apple Watch. iPhone 11 or later required.
And welcome to the Money Round. I am the Money Coach. Join with me, my right-hand man, Jay Hill, keeping it real. What's going on?
What's up?
And we're also brought to you by Extreme Training. Elite, come train with the elite. All right. And we are also brought to you by Battle Gear, some of the best sports apparel in the game. Get battle ready, get Battle Gear. Also, you buy Jake the Ripper, custom lures for all you fishermen and women out there. Go fish, holler at Jake for them lures. All right. We have a special guest today. First, I got to introduce my little mini soldier, Delaney Morgan. She's coming on with us. And our also special guest, one of the best women wrestlers around, Olympic wrestler. Was that 2012? Yeah, 2012. And just a pretty smile all in general, Kelsey Campbell. What's going on?
Hey, I'm just here.
I like that tat. When'd you get that tat?
Which one?
That one right there.
The sleep.
K-pop Demon Hunters Haja Boys breakfast meal and Huntrix meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja Boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
So I got it in 2017, and the intention was always to do a full sleeve. But, I don't know if you have tattoos. I'm definitely a collector, and wow, that's an old picture. You kind of do it. You go off the feel. So I've done 2 parts, and then I was like, I think I'm good. And I just haven't added to it since. So I'm just going to add to it when it feels right. And that's kind of how I do it. Yeah.
I had met you, I think in 2011 or 10. And I was at the Olympic Training Center. Okay. And I just remember I was being a fanboy. Hey, I'm a fanboy. And, but it was so funny at that time, Manville was standing right there and I asked you for a picture. I should have put the picture on there, and it was like 2010 or 11, and I took a picture with you. And Mason Manville goes, "You being a fanboy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a fanboy."
That's so funny.
I can't ask to take a picture with somebody.
That's awesome. No, that's what you got to do.
Yeah. So, well, cool. Well, so glad to have you on the show. Just tell us what's been going on in this happening, and where are you at right now?
So I'm in Arizona, and I've been based here since 2013, 14. And I went to Arizona to definitely become like a second home for me. And, it's interesting because, and I'm sure you've heard this from other athletes, and at first I felt weird saying this, but, obviously the state of the world right now, it's kind of, coronavirus and everything going on. But as an athlete, it's very rare for us to be even given more time in any sport. And, the Olympics were delayed. I was after this Olympics. So I'm for a year. And I felt in a way, I was like, wow, like I was given another year, but also, especially when things started, it's like you had to be really creative with training. And yet, we've had to do a lot of stuff at home. And I guess for me, it's not ideal, but it was familiar because when I started wrestling, 1,000 years ago, I would make up weird stuff to train because I didn't know what I was doing. And so, like.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. With a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Coming up with ways to stay in shape. I've done this before. I've been here before, and so you take it in stride just because you have to, and things change every day. And then it's also, I just wasn't around people a lot. You start to tap into things. You're like, well, I have time right now. I might as well pursue that. Or I've been inspired to take on some really cool projects and to partner with some really incredible organizations. And so yeah, like I think I've been given this time, and I am training again in a very controlled setting. And it's just been the wildest couple months. Like you can't even make this. I mean, I guess there's movies out that like they talk, but really like I could have never imagined that this would be how I would be spending my 2020. Right. Yeah. So I think it's just echoing what I recognize, that I haven't been impacted in the same way as some people have. And I've really tried to pay it forward. And I've tried to give back and contribute. And so in that regard, there's always ways, I think, to find the positives, but yeah, it's weird times.
Yeah, extremely weird. So have you always been in Colorado before you came back to Arizona? Where were you?
So I grew up in Oregon, and I moved to Colorado in 2009, and I lived there for like 4.5 years. And then I left after the London Olympics. I did an internship at eBay. And I think I just needed to get away from the training center, just because the Olympics, and I had this really bad injury before the games and really low time after the games. And I think I just needed to get some perspective and step away from it, this was 2012, 13, like people weren't talking about like mental health. Like this just wasn't a conversation people were having, candidly. So, I was just dealing with like the best way I knew how, and that was to just disconnect a little. Realized, being away from the training center at that time was the best thing for me. So I decided to move, and I lived in California for about a year, maybe a little over a year. And then when Zeke Jones got the position at Arizona State, I approached post-surgery. So I was like literally still in a sling. And I approached him at the US Open in Vegas, and I was like, I'd love to move down. I just really think that you're going to build something great there. There was no art time. And he was like, pack your bags. So then I moved back, and I've been here since. And as you guys know, if you follow, AS capacity, there's been a lot of changes. I've seen so many people come through. So to answer your question, I have not always been in Arizona. I've been a few places, but
and did you go to Arizona State?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
You went to Arizona State. Were you not a wrestler, or were you wrestling?
I actually did wrestle. I was the first female to wrestle for actually. So yeah, it was crazy. so yeah, I did wrestle, and that was pretty random too. I didn't go there to wrestle. It was actually encouraged to try out for the team. So it all happened very organically.
So at that time, they had you try for the team, but nobody thought about maybe you should just wrestle for Sun Kiss and maybe chase to join the women's.
So there's layers to it. So back then, Sun Kiss exclusive club. I mean, they don't. A lot of clubs pick up a lot of athletes. Sun Kiss has never been that way. Right. So when I walked on the team, like Kim Martori to me, and she's like, okay, we'll do a partial sponsorship. We'll see how I wasn't just like added to the team. And again, you have to remember, there were no women at ASU. It was just the team. And so I joined the team. Was added to Sunkissed, but it wasn't like I really had to show that I was a good investment. And so, and you know, at that time I wasn't like, oh, I just want to wrestle full time. Like I had other, so I didn't want to move somewhere just to join a women's team. I was not ready to move to Colorado. So that really was the best decision for me at the time. And then Sunkissed just brought a lot of those dreams to fruition, because without a sponsor, I mean, it's expensive to be an athlete, you know? So they really just helped me see those dreams and bring them to life.
That's pretty cool. Cool. And I'm gonna get more into your story. I'm just getting Delaney on for a little bit.
Good.
So Delaney, what have you been doing and stuff? You and your brother, you been able to work out? You got to cut your mic on. It's on. Yeah, I can hear you.
My mom takes us up to a track and we run the track, and we exercise a lot, mainly like. And
Drew doesn't. Tell on him, because I'm gonna get him.
I mean, I think he does. I don't know.
Don't try to save it down. So cool. Well, Delaney, do you have a question for Kelsey?
Yeah. What are your hobbies like outside?
So my biggest passion outside of wrestling is music. I grew up singing and dancing. Those were like my first loves. And I'm actually currently recording an extended playlist. So that was what I was going to pursue after I retired. So that's my biggest hobby. And then I write music too. I love animals. I volunteer at the Humane Society. So those are some things that I do outside of wrestling.
Nice. Now, Kelsey, how'd you get into wrestling?
I was dared.
What?
Yeah, I was dared by a couple guys on the team. I was a junior in high school, and I don't remember the details of the conversation, but it kinds of like, you can't handle this sport. And I was a multi-sport athlete. So
you grew up in California?
Oregon, sorry. Yeah. So really it just started out trying to prove some guys wrong. So
that's how I started. Yeah. And you said you were in high school when you started then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Delaney, when did you start wrestling?
When I was in 5th grade.
5th grade? What made you start wrestling?
Drew started it, and I was like, I was kind of bored just sitting in the stands, so I was like, I want to try, so I signed in.
Okay. That's what made you try? All right, you have another one for Kelsey?
I need to think. Oh, what is it? I don't know why I can't put it down, but it's on my dresser.
Go get it. We'll carry on. So from Oregon, you said you went to Arizona State for college. Is that how you got to Arizona State from Oregon?
So I was street, and they wanted to start a new church in Phoenix, and they asked the church leaders had asked me if I would help lead the college ministry. So that was initially like why I was at that time. My only goal was I wanted to lead a college ministry. That was like a big dream of mine. So that's actually why I zoned it. It had nothing to do with wrestling, and frankly, I didn't even know if I would keep wrestling like at that point. So it was kind of crazy how it worked out.
Hey, was female wrestling in state, or did you have to wrestle with the boys?
I wrestled with the boys, but I feel very lucky just because state right above Oregon, they're pretty established on the women. They have their own sanctioned state tournament, and I've been to it. It's amazing. And back then, all of the women from Washington and Oregon, we would come together and train, and exposed to some extremely high-level females early on. And I think that the culture in Oregon, they were very and there's always stories. There's always stories you hear about people that didn't have a good experience, but for the most part, I was maybe even if they weren't open to it right away, they were pretty open to changing. And so I just feel very fortunate fortunate for that because doing it, I was not good. So I don't know if I would have kept doing it if I didn't have that early support from everybody.
Yeah. All right, Delaney, you got your next question?
So what advice to join wrestling?
I would just, I think on like where you're at age-wise, if you start older, it gets a little more serious. But if you're starting younger, like high school, I would just say, make sure, just have fun, right? Like when you're younger, you can do everything. I think another thing I would say is, and different people have different opinions about this, but I think it's important to do different things. A lot of kids today like to specialize. They like to do one thing. And there's a time for that. But a lot of the top wrestlers in the country did other sports. Samira Mensah, Ali Reagan, and even on the men's side too. And so I would just say, like, number one, the most important thing is just have fun with it. Let it be an escape for you. Let it be a safe place for you. The time will come when you got to get your hand raised. That's how you make teams. But when you're younger, it's just important to enjoy it. That's my belief. And then also, as you're trying wrestling, try to stay involved in other things too, because especially in high school and elementary school, you can literally do every sport. You can do everything. And that's not really the case after high school. So that would be my advice. Have fun and just figure out all the things you're good at, not just the one thing.
Well, cool. I feel bad. I should have had more ready for you for your intro, man, but you have done a lot. You've done a lot. Yeah, like you've done a lot, and you've definitely been a pioneer and set a lot of trailblazing for a lot of people. So pretty cool on that.
Thank you.
All right. So, we're talking earlier about just, you being kind of a social justice warrior and speaking up for women's wrestling and all together. And so, what really made you really said it, but now I guess speaking up now is talking on social media, I guess. But what really made you start posting something?
So definitely gender equality. I've always been vocal about it. And I've been very candid about it. I think until now, as we've all seen, in the room a bit, but I think being a female wrestler and always being on men's teams, you're always faced with that. And it's to the point where you really do have to pick your battles. Recently for Win Magazine, I did an editorial, and I just talked about how, like, you have a message, but when everyone in the room, not like you, when they're all the other gender, sometimes it falls on deaf ears, and so you've got to pick your battles. So in that regard, I've pretty consistently been vocal about that. But as far as like the racial climate, I think what inspired me to speak up was partly because I am mixed. My dad is Jamaican. He's actually sitting here right next to me. And I realized pretty early on, and I'm light skinned too, right? When I was younger, like, I don't know if you remember this, but when you do those surveys and you check, like, it would say like black, white, other, like,
they never had nothing for
it. Right. Very early on, I always started, and as I got older, especially in the current times, I really started to educate myself, and I felt inclined to speak up. I couldn't help but speak up.
I'm gonna ask you this, and I'm gonna go back here because I know a lot of people struggle with this. Did you ever feel, well, you're too light to fit in with certain black people or how they might treat you, right? But you still know if you fit in maybe with white people, they still know you're black. So did they ever feel like it was hard to deal with?
Yeah,
as far as-
I felt that way, but I graduated high school in 2003. So, it was just a different era. You just didn't talk about stuff like that, just to be totally honest. And so you dealt with it. You address it. You just dealt with it. And I think one thing for me was I just never saw people like me. I always like, you know, like a lot of that are like darker skin, they would say things like, I always looked up to Randy and Takara, and I look up to them too. And I look up to Simone Biles, and I look up to these women. But growing up, I never really felt like anyone looked like me. Like these incredible dark-skinned, incredible women, or you had these incredible light-skinned women. But I mixed, and so I always felt like no one's like me. Can I even do this? Can people that look like me do this? And so that was my struggle. I don't think I had a lot of those typical, like, I feel targeted struggles, as far as definitely. And that's also why I felt inclined to speak up, because people that look like me have to speak up. You know, people need to see that you don't have to fit in a, you just got to be yourself and be yourself proudly. So kind of a roundabout way to answer your question, but I know there's other people out there that have felt that way. And so I feel like it's just speak up.
So, about that, so how do you feel about the flow deal as far as like the pay with, it's going to be long here.
You know how I feel.
I mean, well, I was trying to get an understanding of it. I mean, yeah. I get where some stuff I just don't get. I don't understand, like a Helen Morella's supposedly makes less than a Lucas deal.
So I'm not too much into specifics.
Right, but I mean that's the kind of
just because example. Of some we're working on right now. But it's also no secret that I have not been a supporter of Flow for a long time. I mean, before this event came out, I noticed it. I mean, years ago, I know the coverage of women was incredibly low, and when there was coverage, it was always the same few women. And we preach that wrestling is inclusive, that it's for everyone, but we don't advertise everyone. Right. Like, we really miss the mark. And you know, they are who they are. And so I don't even think it's subtle. They obviously have their own agenda with who they want to. It is what it is, but I don't follow them. I don't invest. And so, yeah, like I feel that if we really want to grow wrestling, we can't follow their example. No way. And, you know, Helen, who has been a competitor in the past and who will be a competitor in the near future, her and I have had conversations, and, you know, for the one and only list on the women's side to be making a tenth of what a male makes that maybe just made the national. Let's take myself out of it for a second. That's insane. That doesn't make sense on paper. That doesn't make sense when you say it. It's just like, and so, you know, the writing's on the wall. I mean, and I think some people are on the same with me, and maybe they share similar views. And then some people just don't care, and they think women's. And again, that's where you kind of got to pick your battles. It's like, you know what? You keep talking like that, and the next there will be no next. And 50% of the population will not care about this. So, yes, I could go on all day, but
it definitely has to get out there. Hill, you got something for Kelsey?
I was wondering, since you said, or you were talking about, you know, retirement being after the Olympics and that, kind of if you thought about coaching now with, you know, Division I, recognizing it as a, you know, and D2 there, if any of that process in your mind, or?
It's crossed my mind. I've received quite a few coaches. That just starts to happen when you get older. They just think, oh, she must be done this year. Oh, she must be done this year. I mean, she's getting old. Like, so I love working with youth, and that's another thing I'm about. I do volunteer coach at the Sunkist State. But I do recognize for myself, it's never been like a true passion of mine. And when you talk to people like Julia Salata or, I don't know, Lauren Louise, like, these women are coaching, like it's what they want to do. Right. Julia actually coaches right now. I don't even know how she does it.
Yeah, she does everything.
it's crazy how she wrestles with balance, right? For me, I don't feel like it's my calling, but life, honey, and Eunice, you don't know where I never thought I'd be wrestling for 17 plus years. I thought I was just winning a bet. So like, you just never know where they take you. So to answer your question, I have considered it. It's not my goal. It's not necessarily what I'm working towards, but you know, if the right fit came along and it seemed like the right team or position, I would certainly be open to it. But I believe coaching is so important, and I believe people in those roles about it. It should be what they want to do. So it's not that I don't feel capable, but I think that there are great people in those roles that really want to do it.
True. So, you know, you said you were going to music after you're done wrestling. Now, do you live? Or are you just gonna like?
So, I.
And not that I'm trying to put you in a box and make you work a 9 to 5.
No, and actually, I actually have tons of work. Until 2018, I always worked in addition to wrestling, always, like my whole career. But it's just so competitive. I mean, I really had to sponsors because it's hard. It's very hard. So if I needed to go get a job, I could go get a job, you know. I have my degree. I just got my MBA in February. So thank you. So working a traditional job, music is kind of funny, and it's changed a lot since I was in high school. Like, you can't just post on YouTube and think you're going to get discovered. Like, it's kind of industry. So I'm doing different things to, in a position, and it's not easy. Wrestling's not easy. And I think in a lot of ways it's prepped me a little bit for it. But right. So, I don't have all the answers to that question. But, right now I'm, you know, utilizing the support I'm getting from some sponsors to record the EP to begin, and then we'll just go from there.
We're talking about coaching, you know, and I was asking Escobedo this, you know, there hasn't been a Division I female coach yet for wrestling. I guess it is kind of crazy considering that the NFL has now in the NFL, but yet Division I wrestling hasn't had a female coach yet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy when you think about that. So
yeah.
One wrestling for females?
Yeah, you know, I think I was very fortunate to have a Division I experience. And this is like a side note. I don't tell a lot of people, and sometimes I forget it, but I actually, for a very short period of time at Pacific Union, I actually had the unique experience of having wrestled for a women's college team and a Division I men's team. And the experience is like night and day. Just the things that I was exposed to, the opportunities that it exposed me to. And it was very hard, but I wouldn't trade it because I really learned a lot about how things are done in a Division I program. And I can give very concise guidance to we now on the ASU team and the other women who are like, I want to be on this college team, but it's all men. What do I do? And I feel very well versed in that. So I think that women shouldn't have to choose, like, and a lot of the women's programs are at great schools, but they shouldn't have to choose. If a female wants to wrestle at ASU and also wants to go to should be able to go. She shouldn't have to choose. So I think it's a good thing. Yeah.
Well, like a lot of women, you know, they had to go to like Cumberland and Wayland in Texas and Missouri Valley. They couldn't go to Stanford or if they wanted to wrestle, correct?
Right. And you know, Patricia Miranda did wrestle for Stan. She's just a phenomenal human, but as someone that also, it's not the path for everyone. So, you know, I did sacrifice scholarships and I did sacrifice a lot of competition early on. And there were things I sacrificed to wrestle on a men's team. I don't regret it, but right now women have to choose. We have to choose between this experience or that. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's definitely, hopefully the changes keep coming, as long as everybody keeps speaking up, I got a feeling to keep changing here. Now, I'm at the social issues. Are you afraid that you'll lose fans? And I'm going to ask you another thing. Does it seem to you that, especially when you post on social media, does it seem to you that people are more people fighting for women's rights than they are for like association rights or Black rights?
You're just going there. Okay, so I guess the way I'm going to answer this is you got to do what you feel called to do. Platforms, I'm candid, respectfully, and I speak my mind, and I talk about the things I feel passionate about. I do believe, and these aren't just go on Twitter right now and see it for yourself. There are individuals that are all about equality, but when you talk about gender, it's like they don't see what the problem is, and they start saying things like, well, we got to be talk. And I'm like, you were not saying that 10 seconds ago when we were talking about race. Right. You were like all activist hat on, but now we're talking about suddenly you think that we're all cool. We're not, right? And I think as a female athlete of color, I fight a lot of different battles, and women of color that wrestle, and athletes, we deal with gender inequality. We are truly at the bottom of the. We're also dealing with racial issues. So I think people have to do what they feel called to do and speak on what they feel called to speak on. For me to say, but just because people feel passionately about one issue, they feel passionately about everything. Right. And that's just the reality, whether people recognize it or not. So that's how I would answer that.
Okay. Well, yeah. I know but I put a clip up when we had Bobby Douglas on, and we had like a lot of the African-American male coaches in Division I. But Bobby Douglas said something that was so important. And I think I said it on the podcast before, but I'm going to say it again. He was like, you have to, as Black coaches, you have to be united, and you have to have allies. So we should protect women's wrestling. You need to add them on everything. When you talk to USA Wrestling or any other organization, athletes need to be included in everything. Mm-hmm. And elderly, we should always involve, our senior master level people and keep them involved as much as well. It was just a good point he made, I think, mm-hmm. where he said everybody called him a racist, but he's like, look, I'm trying to get everybody.
Yeah, inclusivity is how you get longevity. That's just what it is. Yeah. You have to be, and you not preach that wrestling is for everyone if it's not for everyone. And that's why I think MMA has done so well, because fighters truly come from all backgrounds. Yeah. And not even just fighting, but MMA, jiu-jitsu, judo. Like in these sports, you go to an MMA of all ages, colors, genders, because it truly is inclusive. And yes, on some level, wrestling can't be like, wrestling is a grind. It's hard and not everyone can do it. But we shoot ourselves in the foot when we become so exclusive that we don't find ways to bring more people in. So I think it's a great point to make.
Nice. Hill, you got something else?
I'm going to go back on a different train. I want to know what kind of or what genre your EP falls under.
I guess like R&B pop.
Now.
Really?
Yeah, give us a shot. Let's go. You're gonna make it in this business, you might as well drop it here.
Okay, so
right, Delaney, you ready for it?
The song that I'm about to do, I'm actually doing vocals on this weekend. I'm trying to remember the words.
You can just give us a quick preview.
Okay. And I will fall, and I will rise, and when I stumble, I will survive. I've come so far. Hey, I'm gonna soar. I'm gonna say yeah. I'm not gonna give you. You guys are just gonna have to download the song.
Awesome, man.
On Spotify or SoundCloud?
I'm gonna put it everywhere once it's done. We're gonna do a music video for it too. So
I'm guaranteeing we put this out, we're gonna drop that clip. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's awesome, man. So let me ask you something. I'm gonna go to another page. I'm gonna go to another wrestling page. So how do you feel about now you added more girls to Sunkiss, all right? Down training with you. Is that gonna be a good environment for you?
So crazy. I mean, it's like a lion's den in there now. We got a lot club now, and it's incredible because, like I said, a lot of different seasons in our RTC. Like, so to have the coaching staff that we have, and they're so cohesive, and to have the team we have, and to have so many partners, and it's pretty crazy. Like, it's so different than anything I've ever experienced here. I'm very grateful. Mark Perry is phenomenal. And I mean, and he knows this. I told him this. I was cautious because I've been burned. I've been in the sport for a while. Did sit in my corner at one time, and he's coached against me. And so, like, and we met and we discussed everything, which is awesome. But yeah, like I feel like we have the best situation. A year ago, I would have not said that. So people here, and Allie and I are competitors, and she's here, and we can go at it and practice, and then we're like, hey, so how's it, you know what I mean? And
right.
And, the goal, and Mark has said this many times, but the goal is to be a powerhouse, to sharpen each other so much that we.
So, what out of all your experiences, what was your best experience? I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. What was your best experience right now as far as wrestling?
Oh, I always say the same thing, and people always think this is weird, but it was literally meeting in London.
And was that the Olympics?
Yeah.
That the Olympics, okay.
Yeah, that was like lit. I mean, I was so stupid and like acting a fool, and I was just like, oh my gosh, can I get it? Like, looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh.
You was like me when I saw you.
But like, you don't get that opportunity to meet like the men's basketball team. They literally couldn't stay in the village. They had to stay off site. And when we went in for opening ceremonies, they chant your country when you walk in. And I remember Clarissa was like, let's go stand with the basketball players, because that's how you get on TV. I'm like, okay. And so we stood near them. And when we walked in, they were chanting his name. Like, I mean, that, like, but like, so when I got to meet him, it was like, that was my favorite moment of the games. I mean, our team was pretty incredible. All you have to do is Google it. I cried for like 3 days straight. But I would say, I guess those would be my two best wrestling experiences.
Delaney, you got another one for her?
Yeah. Future goals in wrestling.
In wrestling, well, it's not too far in the future, but my goal is to win the Olympics. And so, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Blessed with more time to become better. So with wrestling specifically, I would say that myself.
So I'm going to ask you this. What was your favorite country out of all the places you've been? Because on your resume, you've been everywhere.
For wrestling specifically?
Yes, wrestling specifically. What's one of your favorite places you've been? Or you just say...
It's hard because... So it's hard with wrestling. I would say Japan or Cuba. Yeah. It's very different experiences, but the Japanese culture, they're just so great at everything. Like, they just do things so well. And
you know what? The same thing a little bit too.
Yeah, that's my girl. Yeah, she's one of my best friends. Yeah, like they just, and I have friends in Japan, I just really respect a lot of the way that they approach life. But Cuba's incredible too, because there's like anywhere, but the people there are just so beautiful and loving. And I was just always treated, when I go there, people think I'm Cuban. So me and really fast, but yeah, but aside from wrestling Australia, I'm like a fangirl of Australia. I've always been obsessed with Australia. I've been there once. I want to go back. I would probably lose. Australia's, outside of wrestling, my favorite place on the planet, hands down.
Nice. So let me ask you this. I know you said your father's from Jamaica. Yes. Did you ever get to go back to Jamaica?
I've been to Jamaica once, when I was in high school. I'd love to go back.
Of course.
So yeah, and it's cool when you have family there. It's like when I went, we stayed with family, so it was a very, very true experience.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of and you stay at like the Hilton, and
right.
I got to really see it. You know, some really cool stuff. So I would love to go back for sure.
Does your pops cook a lot of jerk chicken?
A lot of jerk everything. As a matter of fact, like
can I put in a request?
Yeah. Requesting some jerk chicken, Dad. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, I love
my dad's a great cook. He's a really good cook.
Oh yeah, I believe it. Most of every Jamaican meal I met can cook.
Yeah, and they just measure with their. It's crazy. I am not like that.
So now I know, like in Jamaica, people go to like Rick's Cafe and they jump off you saw the cliff divers that jump off at Rick's Cafe?
I have not.
Like a known deal for tourists. They go to this Rick's Cafe. And it's always like cliff divers who get a lot of money to dive in. So I was.
Heck no, man. My dad and I share a common fear of heights. And my dad, I don't know if this is in water. I'm going to have to Google this. But my dad, we're actually like working on teaching him like a very strong swimmer.
From Jamaica?
I know. Well, you know, the old saying like black people don't swim. But,
boy.
But if you ever, I post videos sometimes of him. Pretty entertaining.
I had a bad joke, but I'm not going to say it.
All good.
All right.
So yeah.
I was talking about the bobsled movie.
Oh, yeah.
But hey, have you ever thought about this? Did you ever think about ever wrestling for Jamaica since your dad is Jamaican?
I was actually approached about defecting to Jamaica after I made the Olympic team. And it, quite honestly, never crossed my mind because I'm a U.S. citizen. And isn't really a governing body there. Like, it wouldn't have been a smart move because wrestling for a country isn't just wrestling for a country. You need funding, you need a training site, you need partners, you need resources, and they have some of those. Like, Jamaica has wrestlers now, but when I was approached, they did not. And I even asked my dad, and he's like, why would you do that? You already represented the U.S.
Right.
So for me personally, people that have like defected to other countries to compete, and I have no judgment for them. Like, I think you have a dream, you do what you got to do, you know?
Gotcha. It's money round time. Question. It'd be very easy. I may say tomato or tomato. Just say which one you like best. All right. Tell them some more rules, Hill.
Again, you will be severely judged. We've had more people than not make it through the money round. We've had some notable failures. Kerry McCoy
down as an all-time failure on the money.
Kerry Colat we've learned some interesting things about his fast food choices.
Yeah.
And experiences. Jordan Oliver is the most intense person we've ever met on the money round.
Yeah. So, be comfortable, Kelsey. Let us know. We'll get you going. All right, yeah. So we'll get you. But it's been some crazy ones on here for sure. Shy was pretty good though. Shy
did really well.
Yeah.
Tamara was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, she's always funny. She's
he's a riot.
So it's been a good deal.
Let's do this.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I will have Delaney answer first, and you'll go second, Kelsey.
Okay.
All right. Pizza or hamburger?
Hamburger.
Pizza.
Pizza.
I'm pescatarian.
Another pescatarian. Think about in your former life, what would you have chose before you became
steak.
Pescatarian? Steak. All right. Popeyes or KFC?
Popeyes.
All right, you girls are doing good so far. Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches or Popeyes chicken sandwiches?
Soda.
Pen or tech?
Pen.
Pen. Okay. Double.
Single.
And go. Defense or offense?
Offense.
I mean, defense for me. This is me.
Defense. We did a good one with Colite. He broke down his whole theory on this question.
He chose counter offense.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
So, sprawl or head blocks? Say it again, Delaney.
Head block.
Head norm or body lock?
Head norm.
Spladle or cradle?
Cradle.
McDonald's or Burger King?
McDonald's.
Anymore, but if you did.
I guess Burger King.
They got the Impossible Whopper.
The plant-based Whopper.
Oh.
There we going this. Whopper or Big Mac, Delaney?
Whopper.
You guys both said that disgustingly. You had the Impossible Burger, Delaney? The plant-based burger? Are you from the Midwest? She's going to eat meat, aren't you, girl? All right. Batman or Superman?
Superman.
Captain Marvel or Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman.
Okay. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Oh, but I guess dogs.
We still have what? One person?
Yeah, one person. Sarah Hildebrand, the only one who loves cats.
Yeah, she does love her cats.
Cheerios or Fruit Loop?
Cheerios.
Ram 1500 or F-150? Those are trucks, by the way, Delaney. But I think you probably know that.
Ram.
You guys speak up too so I can hear you. Speak up.
Ram.
Ram. Sorry.
Go ahead. F-150?
Yeah.
All right. Challenger or Camaro? Those are cars, Delaney.
Challenger.
Challenger. All right. Where it gets deep right here. Five Guys or In-N-Out Burger?
I've never had Five Guys. I've had In-N-Out.
Oh, okay. Well, you're okay, Delaney. You okay. See, that's why you hang around me. You're fine. I know you're a West Coast.
In-N-Out.
In-N-Out. Okay, you ladies are doing good right now. You're doing good. All right. We're going rap, trap music or old school?
Old school.
Old school.
Old school. All right. Well, Delaney, you with the younger generation, so I thought you might have said trap
Very
music.
respectable answer.
Right. I thought you might have just said, what these little guys' name? NBA Young Boy.
My dad listens to old school.
Okay.
Nice. Tournament.
This isn't Jersey.
Guts or lace?
Lace.
Escape.
Reversal.
State or states?
State. One state.
All right. Nicki Minaj or Carl?
Nicki.
I like.
All right. Chicken, boneless or traditional?
Traditionally boneless.
What? traditionally boneless.
I
That's
know.
not
I'm really weird. My dad, he like cleans the bone off, but I
He's
can't
from
do
Jamaica.
that.
That's what he would do.
I know.
Ranch or blue cheese? Say it again, Delaney.
Ranch.
Okay. All right, ladies. Here's the last one. So far, so good. When you say, yeah, I'm impressed. Do you prefer ketchup or mustard on your hot dog? Let's go.
I hate mustard. Ketchup.
Oh!
Ketchup.
Oh!
But hot dogs are disgusting, so it's a whole other topic.
Wow.
I had not eaten a hot dog in 15 years, and I had a veggie dog. And that's the only one I can do.
Yeah,
I ate my veggie dogs.
They
got the plant-based dogs now, so it's kind of very disappointed in the last answer. But overall, I get what, maybe 95, 80. I think they did good overall. I mean, basically, all kids put ketchup on hot dogs, so that's why I have to put you at that level now. But
I'm proud. I stand by my answer.
Now, maybe spicy mustard. I don't know. Mustard only on brats and ketchup on hot dogs. I don't know. But good for you to stand for something because you definitely stand for a lot. So, well, good job, ladies. It was definitely fun having you on. Hill, you got anything for him?
Good luck with everything. We get a season and you guys can compete.
Yeah. Are you going to wrestle in October at the?
Yeah, I'm planning on it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now, is that going to be a world championship that they're going to have this year?
Yeah, it will be a trials if it is, if the world championship, everything's tentative, right? And if not, it'll be like a seeding event for Olympic trials. That's what I know today. Yeah.
Right, but what if the people who are already in the Olympic trials don't wrestle in that event? They're going to use that event still to seed?
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of how it always is, right?
Okay, yeah.
So, I mean, unless you're sitting out at this point getting matches, right? So
you're saying you can qualify for the Olympic trials through this event? That's what you think they're saying?
No, I was told it wasn't a qualifier. No. It was just, which is weird to me.
How do you get seated from it if you can't be a qualifier?
I know, it's like super weird. I'm sure that'll change too.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy times. Nobody folded. The world has just turned upside down. And yeah, they're making us go back to school 5 days a week here. I know that's going to cause an uproar where I live at. It's going to be nuts. Thank you, ladies. Delaney, you have anything for Kelsey before she goes?
I don't really know.
Don't really know? All right. Well, cool. Well, Kelsey, thank you so much for joining us, man. And just proud to know you and glad you came on and keep doing what you're doing. And we're definitely looking forward to your singing career.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Electricast.